Africa's news and information leader.
The formal period for public consultation on the issue of whether land should be expropriated without compensation has now been opened, and that means that Parliament's committee investigating the issue is now accepting submissions. Earlier this year, the ANC and the EFF voted together to pass a motion to expropriate land in this way and to set up a formal committee to examine whether the constitution should be changed to allow it to happen. Peter Satau is the chief executive of the Vumelana Advisory Fund. It's a fund that advises people, it helps people who have land restored to them, it helps them to develop that land and farm it effectively. Peter, good morning. Thank you for your time.
Stephen, and good morning to your listeners as well.
Obviously, strong emotions on this topic, quite understandably. What do you think are the major issues that we need to take into consideration while deciding what should happen next?
Well, I think as a starting point, the current debates really present an opportunity for South Africans at large, from your communities to your business, to really engage with this process so that they can shape up the policy. It is important to note that, as you rightly pointed out, that the land reform is a highly emotive issue, and for that reason, we need to be cautious in crafting the policies that we really need to make sure that land reform becomes a success. South Africa, in our view, really needs a more flexible and diverse set of instruments for land reform if the process is to be accelerated. We think it would be fatal if the current discussions on the amendment of Section 25 of the Constitution, diverted attention from the range of current issues that must be addressed in South Africa's land reform, and really the resources that are available to make sure that land reform becomes a success.
People who oppose this measure, they bring up the issue of food security. Isn't that a bit of a red herring? Does it necessarily follow that land expropriation will lead to less food being produced?
Well, I think the ruling party in coming up with this policy did introduce some caveats, for lack of a better word. But I think it is important to note that this is a conversation that we must have as South Africans, first and foremost. And it is for that reason that all various parties should actually engage with this process. Given the past experiences, proposed changes to the land reform should, amongst others, really improve land performance, and it should support emerging farmers and beneficiaries of land reform to enable profitability of the restored land. This should, amongst others, look at and ensure that there's a creation of jobs, there's skills transfer, we protect commercial agriculture while we also encourage the growing of smallholder farmers development. Issues around food security and the socio-economic well-being of South Africans whilst ensuring that there is stability in the country.
Peter,
so it is important that all the role players in this process need to accept and protect South Africa's best interest. And I think from the messages that we've seen thus far coming from government, it would appear that there's really, this process is really, amongst other things, aimed at ensuring that we have a more sustainable land reform. On the other hand, whilst those who have advocated expropriation of land without compensation have argued that it will increase the pace and an acquisition of more land, the reality is that it will not address the current challenges in land reform.
Peter, very quickly, sorry, Peter.
Yes.
So you believe it is possible to come to some kind of political consensus, some kind of agreement that everyone will understand and, generally speaking, accept?
We do believe that expropriation of land without compensation could form part of the mix of other interventions that government or that could be introduced to make sure that land reform is implemented in a sustainable manner.
Peter Satau, thank you very much indeed. The Chief Executive of the Vumelana Advisory Fund. 10 minutes now to 7.